Over 200 structures demolished at the railway quarters at CMB in Accra.
And a swift response from the Ghana National Fire Service prevented the Ghana Olympics Committee building from catching fire.
Also in the news this evening, Public Relations Officer of the KNUST says management's decision to convert Katanga and Unity halls into mixed halls is to meet the demands of the increasing female population.
And elsewhere in the world, bodies of 16 migrants pulled from the sea off the coast of Melilla, a small Spanish territory bordering Morocco.
Well, all these and more coming up in the next 60 minutes, including entertainment and sports.
At the beginning of our news this evening, over 200 structures have been demolished at the railway quarters known as the CMB in Accra. The exercise carried out by the Ghana Railway Development Authority is to pave way for private commercial development of the area.
The Ghana Railway Company Limited is reclaiming its land, which was taken over by traders some years back. Somewhere last year, that was in 2017, the Railway Company Limited served notice to these traders to vacate this area because they were coming for the land. Since 5 a.m. today, the demolition exercise has been ongoing, and for these traders, they agree that yes, they are not supposed to be here, but then they feel that the notice that was given to them wasn't enough to get themselves prepared before vacating this area.
Nti efese nipa ne ba beba no obeka chose samasi tam we mi hia me dan me tam aso se me ba be ye meduma no ama ye mre na sa tam no usu wa hwehwe bebi a wode unyama be ye den edukoto ho na wa sese asunja ba ne de obetimi abubuo sese a wan ka nkire preku pe me ba beje me dan a wode be fan abesu no omunya de abesi anim preku ene ye tam ni na tam no so a
we thought the case was in court, so the demolition wasn't going to come on today. They took us by surprise. The exercise is to pave way for the private commercial development of the area. Officials for the Ghana Railway Company Limited were unwilling to comment on the issue.
Now, away from that demolition exercise, let's do some fire-related stories. A swift response from the Ghana National Fire Service prevented the Ghana Olympics Committee building from being consumed by fire. Portions of the 5-story structure close to the new Accra Regional Hospital caught fire late Sunday morning, but was contained within 2 rooms.
The fire reportedly started on the 3rd floor of the GOC building at about 11:48 a.m. Sunday. Personnel of the National Fire Service arrived 6 minutes later with 3 water tankers and fire engine, but access was a challenge because the doors to the affected floor were locked. A turntable ladder was later brought in to help break through the windows for access. Most office equipment and other valuables were, however, destroyed in the affected rooms.
The fire was confined to that office. It extended a bit to another office. From the Director of Finance's office, there is another office which was also affected. So 2 offices, I would say.
Acting Chief Fire Officer Eko Blankson was delighted over the response to the emergency.
We were able to confine the fire. If you go up, you can see that there is minimum damage. You can even see from here, they have not vented any place, and I wish to commend them.
Another factor that contributed significantly to the firefighting was the availability of landing valve. According to the Public Relations Officer of the National Fire Service, DO1 James Ohiniba Yakwating, the landing valves prevented the long drive for water to aid firefighting.
And these are valves that we connect our hoses to, and then we get water running through them to fight fire. And that was key in terms of helping us to get continuous flow of water. So I'll commend the owners of the building and the users as well for having such a facility. All those who use such buildings, if they're able to get one there, it will not be bad at all.
Few workers of Exim Bank, The occupants of the third floor rushed to the scene in an attempt to save a few items. The GOC building serves as offices for 5 organizations: Exim Bank, Ghana AIDS Commission, National Labour Commission, National Road Safety Commission, and Ghana Youth Employment Development Agency. The cause of the fire is not immediately known.
Now to some crime-related stories, and the police in Accra have mounted a manhunt for a fetish priest and an owner of a shrine at Akatapo in the Gan West municipality for alleged criminal rituals. This followed the discovery of a human head and the arrest of 4 persons during the swoop in that area.
4 persons were arrested at the shrine at Akatapo, a village near Amasaman in the Greater Accra region. They are Lasi Watanu, 19, Kwame Beze, 20, Anani Donyo, 39, and Lawson Yao, 52. The fetish priest and owner of the shrine, who is alleged to have engaged in ritual killings, however, managed to escape. The police also retrieved a human head in a black polythene bag placed on one of the idols at the shrine. The human head was in an advanced stage of decomposition and had a piece of paper with telephone number tied around it. According to the police, the state of decomposition made it difficult to identify whether the head is that of a male or a female. The human head has been deposited at the police hospital morgue to aid further investigations. The sweep was conducted by the Amasaman Divisional Police Command upon intelligence on February 1. It was not yet clear who sent the human head to the shrine and for what purpose. The suspects during interrogations told the police they have worked with the fetish priest for periods ranging between 5 and 20 years. One of the suspects claimed to be the son of the fetish priest. 2 others claimed to be assistants to the priest, while the 4th claimed to be a herbalist at the shrine.
Now to the education sector, and students of the Dompoase Senior High School in the Ashanti North, or rather the Adansi North district of the Ashanti region, usually miss class or lessons because they often have to attend to Nature's Call. Now, speaking in an interview with TV3, the headmaster of the school, Haruna Opong Boateng, appealed to the authorities to help them address the problem. This is a report by Benjamin Adu.
We were told by school authorities students on daily basis spend hours outside the school just to access a public toilet as the school lacks one. School currently houses over 2,000 students, and school authorities say the situation disrupts teaching and learning. Some of the students say they often have to go across the street and use part of their feeding fee to pay for the public toilet. The students fear of being knocked down by speeding vehicles and pleaded with authorities and government to construct a toilet facility for them in the school. The school is also faced with water problem, transport, as well as teachers and students' accommodation. Pipelines which were destroyed during the construction of the road linking Fomena to Asante Bekwai 2 years ago have still not been fixed. A student, Stephen Obeng Boateng, shared his ordeal.
We don't have enough facilities for this school. Students, especially the boarders, choose to sleep outside, which is very bad.
On the teacher accommodation, this structure, which started in 1972, has been abandoned due to lack of funds. Out of the 70 teachers, only 30 of them stay on campus. The headmaster, Haruna Opong Boateng, wished the problems could be solved as the school prepares for its 53rd anniversary.
I can't call it even KVIP because they are very old-fashioned. And it's one of our big challenges because it's exposing the students, especially the girls, to a lot of STIs. And every now and then they have to report to the hospital.
Now, the Ghana Education Trust Fund has abandoned more than 3 educational infrastructure projects in the Asokore T.I. Ahmadiyya Senior High School in the Setro East District of the Ashanti region for more than 8 years. Headmistress of the school, Hajia Nyantechiwa Boateng, appealed to the GET Fund to release funds to ensure that the projects are completed within the shortest possible time.
We were told many of such projects were abandoned because the contractors were not giving the funds to complete. there is a huge demand for senior high schools in the region and in the area. In some instances, weeds and reptiles have taken over the projects. The completion of the projects will help the school to address infrastructural challenges. Speaking in an interview, headmistress of the Asokori-Ti Amedia Senior High School, Hajia Nyantechiwa Boateng, expressed regret the contractor working on the various GET Fund projects on campus had abandoned the project. She said the school needed the abandoned projects badly and appealed to government to, as a matter of urgency, ensure that the contractor returns to site to complete the project.
We've been sending letters upon letters, and then I've been visiting the GET Fund offices for quite a long time. And yes, sir, initially the near completed one was also having an issue. We visited the headquarters and the contractor came to site. Then along the line he stopped again.
She noted a lot of investment had gone into the projects.
It's actually affecting us because most of the rooms that the girls are using are choked, and ventilation is a problem there. And usually when it's like that, if there is malaria or whatever happens, you know, most of them will be affected.
From education, let's do some health. And authorities at the Mpoho Health Center are calling on government to upgrade it to a hospital to enable them improve healthcare delivery for the almost 60,000 residents. Now, they say the absence of some important facilities is having an adverse effect on the hospital. This is a report filed by Loveridge and Prechum Ochri.
The Mpoho Health Center oversees about 5 CHIP compounds in the district. It attends to both out and inpatients. Though it is supposed to serve as a referral center, the lack of the required facilities means patients are rather sent to the Efia Nkwanta Regional Hospital in 2nd D. For the past 8 months, orderlies at the center have the additional duty of trekking long distances in search of water for the facility after the community water pump broke down. These, among others, are seriously having a toll on healthcare delivery. For now, they depend on donations from philanthropists like the Nana Ekria Ebre Foundation, who are drawn to their plight. Wilhelmina Tidriamote is an Mpoho District Health Director.
Our staff have to carry water for about 400 meters every day before they can bring water to the facility. And you know, infection prevention in hospital is key. So a hospital without water, running it is very terrible, and sometimes we are afraid for the staff and even the client as well.
Mote says referred patients sometimes die on the way due to the deplorable state of the road leading to Takoradi. The major contributory factor to the avoidable death is that the district health center does not provide ambulance services, neither do they have a motorbike to enable community health nurses execute their duties in the hinterlands. She is calling for a quick intervention.
And the district doesn't also have an ambulance. And you can see the road leading to this place is very deplorable. From here to Kejebri is unmotorable. So sometimes if someone has to come in the night, especially a pregnant woman, if you have to refer without an ambulance, and because of sometimes cost of transport, the taxi drivers don't even want to take them. And it's terrible. We've had instances where clients have to die on the road. Currently, I have 5 CHIPS compounds with midwives, but there are no maternity units. So they just use the OPD and the wards to where they do counseling and other things to do maternity services, which is bad.
Loveridge and Prechum Ochre reporting for TV3 News, Takoradi.
Now let's do some more GET Fund related stories. And an abandoned 40-unit classroom block GET Fund project at the KNUST Senior High School risk collapsing if immediate attention is not given to it. Students who have occupied portions of the block because of inadequate classrooms say the current state of the structure puts fear in them. Here is Ibrahim Abubakar's report.
Government has announced paying more than half of 1.6 billion cedis owed Gets Fund contractors in the country, but a visit to some abandoned Gets Fund projects in some senior high schools within the Kwabre East District tells a different story. A 12-unit classroom block at the Adventist Girls SHS, which has been abandoned for the past 8 years, is still standing untouched. The contractor says he is yet to receive any money from the government to enable him return to site. The non-completion of the project has compelled school authorities to convert their dining hall and portion of their dormitory block to classrooms. The situation, according to the headmistress, is impacting negatively on academic work.
We have informed all the necessary stakeholders. We've written several letters. As for this video that you are capturing, this is not the first time. We have been praying and still the problem is still lack of funds. So we are hoping that at least this one will be an intervention from God so that we can have it completed for the students to have their effective teaching and learning there.
At Adamumase Senior High School, the situation was not different. The contractor of a 1-unit story boys' dormitory block has also abandoned the Get Fund project since 2010. The block is at the completion stage, but school authorities say the contractor is reluctant to come back because he has not been paid. Assistant Headmaster James Appiah says completion of the dormitory block will enable them admit more boarding students.
We are limited to the few facilities that we have, and we admit in accordance with what we have. So if it is completed, it will help us to admit, it will pave a way for us to admit more boarders.
District Chief Executive of Kwabre East, Nana Osei Bonsu, is appealing to the President to consider completing some key Gets Fund projects within senior high schools in his district.
When we come to Kwabre, we have 6 schools, senior high schools, and all the schools are having deficit in the area of dormitories, the area of administrative blocks, the area of classrooms, and a lot of things. So we are making a humble appeal to government to come to Kwabre East and help us so that when the school begins next time, we are not going to have that problems.
Now let's stay in the Ashanti region, and Public Relations Officer of KNUST, Kwame Yeboah, says management's decision to convert Katanga and Unity halls into mixed halls is to meet the demands of the increasing female population. He indicated stakeholder consultations have taken place, hence it is not a unilateral decision by the university. He spoke to Wendy Lyer on Midday Live.
Now, what exactly is this policy about?
We have an increasing number of females attending our institution, and there is a need to find places for them. It may interest viewers and listeners to know that the Independence Hall, which is the first hall to be built, Republic Hall, Queen Elizabeth Hall, were all male halls in times past. And with the increasing number of female population, there was a need to make these halls mixed ones. And we also have the situation where the Vice Chancellor has a policy since he assumed office by increasing the female population in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So putting these together, there is a need to have the 2 halls also accept some of the increasing number of our females.
To what extent have you had stakeholder consultation on this very matter?
Well, stakeholder consultation has taken place. The student body has met, the university management, and discussions had gone on. So it isn't a unilateral decision taken by the university management.
There are some agitations from the students' body.
There is still room for discussions, and the university hasn't closed its doors to further discussions. Very likely the next academic year it will be rolled out.
Coming up now, the weather report.
Weather report is brought to you by
You're on News 360, and we shall return shortly.
Football can be a dirty game, on or off the pitch. Even when I'm trying to score at a party, stains find a way of tracking me down. But I don't worry at all, because I have Cleansoft. Use new Cleansoft 360 Deep Clean, a unique formula with active ingredients and enzymes that gets rid of all stubborn stains and leaves your clothes smelling wonderful.
Cleansoft, my favorite.
Cleansoft 360 Deep Clean, clean all.
Introducing new Sunlight 2-in-1. It gives you burst, after burst, after burst of long-lasting freshness. New Sunlight 2-in-1 for burst after burst of long-lasting freshness.
There are lots of amazing stories out there. What we do on News 360 is to bring to you the most compelling news by teasing out the right pieces that bring the stories to life. My job is to present to you the news in the most gripping manner and asking the critical questions that bring out the needed detail out of the stories. My name is Alfred Okansi. Join me on News 360, Monday through to Friday, 7 p.m. on air and online only on TV3.
Log on to www.3news.com for more news and updates of our major stories. Join us on Facebook 3newsgh for live streaming and comments on our page. Like and follow us on Twitter at 3newsgh and at 3sportsgh. Like our pictures on Instagram, TV3 Network. If you missed our live shows, watch a playback on YouTube, TV3GH. TV3, first in news, best in entertainment.
Hello, I'm Michael Otieje, and I'm poised to give you sports news at its very best. If it happens in the world of sports, this is your platform, Sports Unlimited. All the news, the exclusive interviews, the analysis, the scores, the statistics, and what it means for your favorite team, your favorite player, and your favorite sport. Sports Unlimited every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Sports Unlimited, sports news at its very best.
Sports Unlimited, Tuesdays to Thursdays, 10:30 p.m. right here on TV3.
Welcome back to News 360, and let's do some more stories. Now, some iron rods supplied to the Apesua Community Day Senior High School in the Yilo Krobo municipality have been removed from the project site due to non-payment. Now, residents of Apesua Community are also demanding compensation from the land for the land that they gave to the government. Now, Yvonne Nikwe reports the school's project has stalled for the past 18 months.
The Apesua Community Day Senior High School in the Yilo Krobo municipality of the Eastern Region was part of the project begun by the erstwhile NDC government. It has been 18 months since, and work has not been completed. Contractors have left the site. Some of the iron rods have been left in the bush, whereas those stored have been carted by the suppliers, claiming they haven't been paid for over a year. Residents also demanded full compensation of the 11-acre land and called for resumption of work. Otherwise, they will be forced to convert the uncompleted buildings into pens for their goods. The
land has been wasted. We will use the uncompleted building for animal rearing.
The construction of the school has stalled, and this is a disturbing development.
The Dademanche of the Apesua community is worried about the plight of their children.
We are appealing to government to complete the building to enable our children enroll in the school.
Assemblyman of the area, David Bacha, said it has been long since the contractor came to the site.
I always called them, and they told me that up to now they didn't pay them, so that's why they didn't come to the site.
The Community Day SHS project is funded under the Get Fund project, and contractors are usually awarded from the National Head Office. The Municipal Assembly has little to do. In the course of finding more about the project, we sought to seek answers from the Yilo Krobo municipality. The MCE had to call the contractor, Antarctic Limited, on the phone to get more information. We gathered although the contract sum was 9 million cedis, the money hasn't been paid.
And let's stay in Apesua for a while, and residents and surrounding communities in the Yilo Krobo municipality resort to streams for their sources of water. Women endure long distances whilst children stay out of school in search of water. Here is Yvonne Nikwe's report.
The Apesua stream is the only source of water for the over 900 residents in the Mile 7 community and its environs in the Yilo Krobo municipality of the Eastern Region. On a daily basis, women and children walk miles to fetch water, endangering their lives on the highway that separates the community and the stream. Pregnant women are not left out in the struggle. School children skip school to fetch water and make money. We're bitten by insects when we fetch water from the stream. Government should come to our aid.
We are appealing to government to provide us with potable water.
The chief of the area is worried, although major pipelines pass through their farms and community, they do not benefit.
The fetching of water at the stream is affecting education. We are calling on government. We need pipe-borne water.
The Yilo Krobo Municipal Chief Executive says in the short term, boreholes will be fixed.
We are doing the necessary arrangement with the Ghana Water Company to connect those villages or the communities along the line from that service line. That will solve the water situation for us now permanently.
Now, Chief of J. Kodua Nidade Solomon Yedu in the Gas South District has pledged to clamp down on loitering by school children during school hours. Now, to achieve this purpose, he has announced the setting up of a team to nip this practice in the bud. Eva Atebuka reports.
It was 11 a.m. and school was actively in session, but some children at J. Kodua were seen playing around. Chief of J. Kodua, Nidade Solomon, and the Member of Parliament for the area, Sofa Karen Akwaku, condemned loitering during school hours.
The
situation is worrying, and so we have decided to station a bus in the community to forcibly convey all children loitering about to school.
The mother leaves home as early as 5:30, go to the farm. The mother is back like 11 or 12. So whether the child is going to school or not, she doesn't know. So we are trying to have a workshop with parents, let them understand the need for education, and then some measures they can put in place so that when they go to the farm or they wake up early and go to Bourgeois or Kaswa markets, at least there's some measures that will be put in place so that the children can't go to school.
Some educationists have attributed the increased loitering on the unavailability of a library. Kids for Kids Foundation handed over a library to the community to improve on the education standards of children in the area. The project is part of the foundation's plans to establish libraries in all 10 regions of Ghana.
We want all the kids to have the basic level of education, which is the reading and writing. And we believe that we putting up the school library in the community will help the children with the reading and writing skills.
Staffed with books, the facility also has electronic learning systems.
We realize that some of the kids, they just have to see it on TV or they need to hear it in order for them to get whatever that we are trying to achieve or whatever that we want them to achieve. So that is the visual learners. So the TV is especially for the visual learners.
Meanwhile, work on a school project to serve the community has stalled. The chiefs and people pleaded for its completion to ease overcrowding.
And the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly has received support from the Kumasi Traditional Council to demolish all structures that impede the progress of the KJTR Terminal project. The project, which started in 2015 and scheduled to be completed in January 2018, has to be delayed due to land litigation involving the KMA and a private businessman over land ownership.
The $189 million facility, which started in July 2015, has facilities such as CCTV systems powered by a solar generation plant, modern sewage and waste management facilities, a water reservation and sewer treatment station. Other facilities to be provided include a parking lot, modern bus terminal, a clinic, a crèche and a police station. A private businessman, Asante Kakari, who is in a legal tussle with the KMA over the demolition of some of his buildings at KJTR, is demanding compensation from the KMA before his other buildings could be pulled down to pave way for continuation of the project. Interacting with members of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Local Government, the Mayor of Kumasi, Osei Sibe Entry, was grateful to the Kumasi Traditional Council for its intervention. The council had ordered the Assembly to demolish structures impeding the project without compensation. The committee members were at the KJTR terminal to acquaint themselves with the progress of work. They were impressed with the work done so far. The Mayor of Kumasi, Osei Sibe Entry, said the KJTR project has delayed as a result of the unavailability of land and a court injunction placed on one side of the area for the project by State Constructions Limited.
The challenges facing Phase 1 has to do with some of the structures that is directly in front of the project. Some of the structures that is directly in front of the project happen to be the one belonging to the All State, which is sitting direct opposite zoo. But fortunately for us, with the help of Kumasi Traditional Council, we've gotten an answer.
He also appealed to residents to desist from politicizing the project.
To all those who are using the current central market, their fears have been allayed because when they are not going to stay at home, they will have a place where they will move in for the new phase to take off.
All right, let's do some other stories. And a a man claiming to be a member of the New Patriotic Party, Solomon, is appealing to party executives to help foot the medical bills of supporters who sustained various degrees of injury during the 2008 and 2012 campaign seasons. One of the supporters allegedly lost an eye in the 2012 campaign. Now, Solomon Amu spoke with Eva Atiboka.
Stephen Amu, 54 years, designed the New Patriotic Party craft elephant out of sheer love and passion for the party. With passenger seat of 10, including a driver, he says the craft elephant attracts crowd to the party's events and gatherings. He narrated how the craft idea was conceived.
Ndiwana so no so in PF o pie o manim timye mu himi am ka say we metimaye ana makoma ba ko se metimiye na akoma ba ko metimaye say week ni ma na me di loto ana me de ko top plywood ana me de shase.
The elephant made its first public appearance in the 2008 rally at the University of Ghana. Stephen alleged it decided the fate of the 17 contesting presidential candidates.
Until me fast in 3 days, dry fast in 1. Ndi nyankopori yi na na Akufo Addo ne Alankash ena maame nipa bebinu mu gudua bi ase nto mu mienu ne sori firi na ase na mo baba na na odi nkan ena so no na no fa no si manim se.
Stephen presented the craft to then candidate Nana Akufo Addo in 2008.
Me ko ni fie e wo Legon 3 days ansa na papa na kura me hunu ntimi hunu no no e na o se me ntena se na nso aja me ntena se na me yo somafo e na o se ndi me kasa na o pente na nso nyankopɔ se me fasa picture we e me kire no na me be kire na obedi nkunim e wo primaries aba be ye Ghana president e na o hwe manim na ka se papa anti me ko hunu Mr. Obiri ma me 500,000 which the 50 Ghana cedi. The next day na me buy no catch him say na na kro wo chase ka mama ye no kra na say ya wini a wa chase ka na say papa who need GDA.
He said although supporting the party has been challenging, he has not given up.
Demonstration you no demonstration no. Ya do sunu we na din kan. Ya na fight ni na kra buy so me kra na bia ni say madam up to date. Every day bia me scam ni my boys. Sene me nya somebody mine pano ye bompa ya man say ne wo ye ne be ba misum nim say ba wo miss oba hwe machi akwan.
Stephen says he will continually attract more support for the party.
News 360 returns with more stories after this. Stay with us. Well, thank you very much, Thierry Nyan, for the sports updates. It's now time for Mission. And don't forget that it is supported by Star Ghana with funding from Danida, UK Aid and the European Union. Now, in tonight's Mission, a community-based health planning and services facility constructed to provide health care for the people of Danso near Adeso in the Upper Dentra West District of the Eastern Region has been abandoned in the bush 3 years after completion. The Upper Dentra West District Assembly has no plans of commissioning the facility. All right, so we will be bringing you more details of this particular story as well as some other stories. You're still watching News 360. Let's watch this.
The Danso community is one of the populated suburbs in the Upper Dentra West District. The community is underdeveloped because of constant neglect by politicians. Access to healthcare is also a major challenge. This is because a CHIPS compound constructed to treat minor ailments has been abandoned almost 3 years after completion. The facilities, which comprises accommodation for staff nurses, consulting room, toilet and bath facilities, have been left in the bush. Owing to the neglect, paintings have started peeling off and door frames are being eaten by termites. Residents say they periodically clear the bush around the facility after receiving assurance from the District Assembly of commissioning. However, the adamant posture of the Upper Dentra West District Assembly infuriated residents and they have resolved not to clear the weeds again. Residents say they trek to Adeso for healthcare amid challenges.
We have not benefited from the CHIPS compound since its completion. We want staff posted here so the facility can be operational. But for now, it serves as a breeding ground for reptiles.
For some, expectant mothers suffer the most.
When one falls sick or when a pregnant woman is in labor, there is no health facility here to attend. This makes access to quality health care in this community very difficult.
District Chief Executive of Upper Dencha West, Eugene Saki, prevented the news team from coming to his office, claiming in a phone conversation that the assembly is aware about the state of the facility.
I can't give you any concrete information. No, we are working on it. We have about 3 projects which is outstanding that we are yet to commission. One at what's the name? Kudia, one at Danso, and there's another one for Sinako. So we are working on it. In due time, we're going to commission on projects.
An absence of a footbridge on the River Malawi is impeding access to education and healthcare in more than 5 communities in the central Tong district of the Volta region. Now, parents are worried about the periodic capsizing of a canoe that conveys pupils to school.
The farming communities have limited access to basic amenities. The poor development of the areas is said to have been orchestrated by bad cultural practices and governmental neglect. These include the taboo that bars women from giving birth and rearing of animals at Mafidove and Aplukope. This is the only means residents are able to access other adjoining villages. Residents cross 2 rivers before accessing healthcare in Adidome, the district capital, in emergency situations. Residents say a CHIPS compound donated by an American national in 1990 is understaffed.
Most people come to fetch this water. The only pipe borne water we have over there, the supply is so inadequate. It cannot supply the communities, let alone people connecting it to their homes. So in most cases, people still fall on this creek. It gives us a lot of health issues.
The only school building serving Aplukope and its adjoining villages has not been completed for more than 3 years, but authorities are forced to use it to prevent children from staying home. Pupils also share the only canoe with residents. Parents are worried about the frequent capsizing of the canoe.
We have quite a number of children over here who we transport to the other side. Some go to school over there. It is quite a challenge to have them. Sometimes we have the boat capsizing. And if it hadn't been for intervention of God, as I will put it, we would have recorded quite a good number of casualties.
They appeal for immediate help.
What we are calling on the government to do for us is at least to have a bridge which will link these communities and bring some kind of civilization to this area. Every small community is an integral part of Ghana. So by lifting us, we believe Ghana is being lifted.
District Chief Executive for Central Tong, Thomas Moore Zonyora, said government through the Vice President is prioritizing the construction of a bridge across the Malawi River.
The Vice President has promised giving us a steel bridge that will be sponsored by the Chinese government. So we have sent our request and a drawing.
Thomas.
Well, that's all for Mission Tonight. It is supported by Star Ghana with funding from Danida, UK Aid and the European Union. Isa, over to you for more stories.
Thank you, Solis. And let's do some more stories tonight. President Akufo-Addo says Africa has the resources and capacity to finance quality education and promote the interests of the continent. Speaking at the 3rd International Conference on the replenishment of the funds for Global Partnership for Education in Dakar, Senegal, the president said Africa must make its own education policies suitable to drive economic prosperity.
President Akufo-Addo, who led the Ghanaian delegation at the invitation of President Macky Sall of Senegal and President Emmanuel Macron of France, said the continent must be pragmatic in formulating policies to make education relevant to the needs of its people.
We are going to have to make sure that every young child, boy and girl, have access to education. Not only do they have access to education, but they have access to an education that would allow them to be able to address the challenges of the 21st century.
The president said resources can be put to good use by eliminating corruption in public life. He wants Africa to utilize its wealth on behalf of the people of the continent and not those outside.
We cannot depend on other people to finance the education of our continent. We cannot do that. I'm saying that not to turn my back or turn my nose or to be ungrateful to all these very important and noble people who have committed themselves to helping. No. But that if we make our policy dependent on people, on other people, when their policy changes, we will suffer. But if we make the policy for ourselves, then it means that at all times we will be in control of our own destiny.
Touching on the importance of education to the advancement of the continent, President Akufo-Addo said the paradox of Africa having the youngest population and being the richest continent on the planet, but with the worst living conditions, can only be broken by education.
It's now time for some entertainment news. In entertainment tonight, King of Kologo music, King Ayisoba, treated thousands to music and culture from northern Ghana as he hosted the 5th edition of his annual Batakari Night. Now, performers encouraged northern youth to go into weaving and production of Batakari wear as it holds the prospects to create wealth and reduce unemployment.
That sets the tone for the show. Batakari Night is an annual celebration of music and culture from northern Ghana with performances from the King of Kologo music, King Ayisoba, and his friends. To reflect the theme, all guest performers rocked Batakari. One of Ghana's biggest music exports and No Beer in Heaven composer, Atongo Zimba, was in action.
In heaven, there is no beer.
You better drink the beer. That is why we'll be drinking all the beer.
Multiple award-winning songstress and proud northerner, Uyala was on hand to entertain patrons. Other performers included Yapono and Kokese. The platform was also used to showcase and market smoke produced from northern Ghana. While giving props to Ayisoba for promoting the northern culture, Uyala advised the youth to go into the production of smoke.
Batakari is our identity because we make it ourselves. And he's saying this can provide jobs for us and the youth. Let's stay home. Stop queuing up to go and get sold like slaves elsewhere. Go into Batakari business. Use your hands. Make the money. Create jobs. Because when you make this fabric, people will be ready to sew. And when they sew, others will be ready to wear. And when we wear, we are flaunting who we are. So let's support King Ayisoba.
If the white can come here, wear Batakari to support us. As Ghanaians, what are we doing? We should feel proud of ourselves to wear this Batakari at any function, at any programs. So I think we will give big support to King Ayisoba.
Excited patrons couldn't have asked for more.
Let's now do some international news.
The bodies of 16 people have been pulled from the sea off the coast of Melilla, a small Spanish territory bordering Morocco. Moroccan rescue services recovered the bodies after the crew of a Spanish ship spotted them in water. A medical official told AFP news agency all the dead were from sub-Saharan Africa, apart from one Moroccan. It is thought they may have been hoping to reach Europe by sailing for Melilla despite storm warnings.
Well, that's all time we have for this edition of News 360. My name is Issa Moni. Thanks for watching.
And I'm Solis Rose Corte. Enjoy the rest of your evening.